Good morning, it's 10:02 a.m. on Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. If everyone would please rise, I'm going to give our invocation. Please bow with me. Holy Father, thank you for the chance to get to come here today and to deliberate about the public's business. Just pray that you would guide these proceedings, that you would guide them in to my right and to my left as we attempt to make wise and good decisions. Pray for all of our county family across the county as they do their jobs, and pray for your protection over them, especially those who are in harm's way, and just pray that you would protect them and walk with them. Lord, we pray for our country, as we always do, and ask that you would bless and guide the hands of those in positions of leadership at the national level, and also those at the state level, that we would be a country that does justice and does right in your eyes, not our own eyes. Lord, we ask that you would protect members of the county family who are traveling this week to a conference, and that you would keep them safe and allow them to learn a lot and come home, and please be over us this morning. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join us for the pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, everyone, you may be seated. Thank you. All right, at this time, I believe it's Mark Forehand, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Would you mind coming up so that we can do the presentation of the proclamation? Oh, are both of y'all coming up? Okay. For Campfire North Texas, absolutely incredible Kids Day, or Kid Day.
Kids,
Yeah.
it's all.
Erica, Mark, so y'all are with Campfire, right?
Yes.
Okay, before I read the proclamation, is there anything you'd like to say? You've got a public forum, you can talk about the event.
So thank you for welcoming us. So if you don't know anything about Absolutely Incredible Kid Day, it is a day that is for affirmation for our children. In this society, we believe that as the generation goes, we really want to make sure that the kids understand that we are here to hear them, that they are loved, that they are heard, and they are valued. So on this day, it takes nothing but a simple affirmation of, your value. I love you. Text anything that can just put anybody on put a smile on their face. So, and then if you don't have any children or have anybody like that, you can turn to your best friend, anybody, your co-worker, and just say, you're doing a great job, I value you. So words of affirmation for March.
Okay. Well, allow me to read the proclamation. Whereas Campfire North Texas is committed to empowering and supporting young people in discovering their potential, finding their passion, and becoming leaders in their communities. And whereas for the past 27 years, Campfire's Absolutely Incredible Kid Day has inspired adults to write heartfelt and motivational letters to young people in their lives, encouraging them to pursue their dreams and recognize their worth. And whereas expressing gratitude and appreciation is a powerful way to recognize a child or youth's talents, boost their self-esteem, and convey our admiration for their presence in our lives. And whereas Campfire's Absolutely Incredible Kid Day serves as a reminder that a simple note in a lunchbox, an uplifting text, or a heartfelt letter can make a significant impact in the young person's life, igniting their passion and purpose. Now therefore be it resolved that the Wichita County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim March 21st, 2024 as Campfire's Absolutely Incredible Kid Day, and encourages all members of our community to join them in celebrating the incredible young people in their lives and inspiring them to reach for the stars with kindness, love, and support. And all the commissioners have signed it, so.
Can you see me? I don't know.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gosh, appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Thank you guys for having me.
I'm gonna put them back to work.
Okay.
All right. think that's the last of the presentations we have this morning. Nope, not happening. Comes out, pushed off. Chief Rutledge will have to wait. All right, it is 10:07. We will open up for public comments at this time. We ask that any comment be limited to 5 minutes or less, and remind everyone that no action can be taken by the court on an item brought up during public comments. Does anyone have a comment this morning?
Judge, I do. We're actually, today is the closing of our public auction going on Purple Wave for a few items. And so at 10 o'clock, of course, the bidding still continues, but anytime there's a lull and not hit within 5 minutes, it'll close. So if you want to get in on the tail end and there's something you want to look at, just type Wichita County in the search bar on Purple Wave Auctions.
Excellent. All right, we have any other public comments this morning? Okay, it's 10:08, and public comment is closed. We move on to the consent agenda this morning, 16 items on it. I do have one change to make. Item number 6, which is a motion to approve invoice 205174 to Centrio for $23,200 for phone installation service, and invoice 205176 in the amount of $3,744 for monthly management. The original language says that's to be paid from Department 412 for appliance determined by the county auditor. I'd like to change that to come out of 409 contingencies. 'Cause we did
Both
not-
of them?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't believe we budgeted for the ongoing phone service.
And the,
Come out of 412.
the 23,200, Brendan, that is, help me with that, what that was basically.
That was the installation setup and configuration charge one time.
Okay. I thought so, and I just couldn't, for the life of me, remember exactly what.
Yeah, the one time was in 2023 for the install,
Right.
as well as the one payment in December for 2023.
And Judge, I had a few too.
Okay.
Is that the only one you?
That's the
had?
only one I have.
So on item, and mine are basically just clarifications, but item 1, me and Nancy, she had showed me, and I spoke to Mel about this, but TEA requested superintendent to have an updated agreement that his name's on. But we wanted to, I think there was a date change, and I'm certainly fine with the date change as long as we're referencing the contract that began basically a year ago.
Okay, this,
So there's no change to the contract other than the superintendent's name and a date.
the date of the term of the agreement does look like it changes to February 26th, 2024 here.
Yeah, but the term of the agreement has already begun. We're in agreement with City View and we collect their taxes.
Yes.
We just need clarification, according to TEA, for this superintendent to be approving a documentation. So it's like an amendment to the existing agreement.
What I'm reading here, Commissioner, is this is actually renewing the agreement and putting another term on, and that's
As long as we don't lose the date of inception. You follow me? Because when 5 years from now, and I say, Judge, when did City View start with us? How long have they been going? Well, the first thing we're gonna do is look at the contract and see the start date on it. Well, that's not gonna be the correct date.
But won't the prior one be on file?
No, we still have the original on file.
Yeah, but
It's just a renewal.
Yes, it's a renewal, I understand, but what we're doing is generating a new document. It's not a renewal, it's a new document.
It's a new document.
And so what I'm talking about is actually a renewal that has the correct signature on it and the start date for that correct signature. And it is a renewal. What we're creating here is a brand new document with City View. So we'd have the old document with City View and the new document with City View. And in my mind, there's just an easier way to do the contract.
No, I agree with you. Let's pull this down and do an addendum to the.
Right, and that way you keep it all together so that,
Okay.
It keeps the same starting date.
Right.
It keeps the
It
same
just has a
contract
different,
forever,
yeah,
The original one was still in the record, you may not find that in a search.
Yeah,
right,
Yes,
that's
but
right.
You may or may not.
Right.
Whereas with an addendum, you will definitely
Right,
find
I
it.
got it.
Okay,
We're
we'll pull
moving-
this one off.
Moving one to,
and then he should still be in full compliance with TEA.
I would think so, yeah. Does anyone have an objection to pulling consent agenda item number 1 off of the agenda fully today?
off fully?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Okay, did you have another question?
Yes, on item 5 and item 7, Judge, just for my clarification, none of which I'm opposed to, but was there a number in item 5?
There is not, and Cheryl can correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have any say, and Kirk wouldn't need to come before this body to authorize payment from Fund 630. The reason that this is on the agenda is it is changing the hardware of one of the buildings that the county does own, and so therefore, he's coming to ask us for permission to essentially change the hardware, change the makeup of the
Okay.
building.
Because
Right, that's
I-
correct.
Okay.
It's a
I-
county-owned building, so he needs permission from y'all to change his building, but not to use his grant funds.
Okay, and is that a move on to item 7 as well?
No, 7 is,
So 7, the juvenile board added 3 positions back in May of 2023. That information did not get to us for budgeting purposes, so in the budget purpose, we only allotted 22 positions, so we just need to change that budget for 25 positions.
And how
We're not
is it-
changing the dollar amount, we're just changing the number of positions available so that we can.
Oh, so
We're not changing the dollar, just the number of positions
okay.
at this time.
And how is that how does that pay? Is all these county paid employees, or are they state county?
This is juvenile, so they're county employees. The county gives a certain dollar amount to the juvenile board, and they determine the salaries for those employees.
Okay.
How do we add positions without changing the dollar amount?
He may have had extra money in his total
It is total-
allotment.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I don't, yeah. Right now, I'm just crossing one bridge at a time, and
Okay.
if he runs
But-
out of money, it's really on him to manage the total dollar amount that the county has given him in his juvenile board.
yeah, and unfortunately, that was 10 months ago. And so I'm not remembering fully the details of the conversation, but I remember at the time, it wasn't going to be a net negative to the county's budget.
Right.
Good
It's
deal.
he's just now adding a 23rd,
That's
and
all
that's
I-
what caught us, since we were
Right.
like, oh, we don't have a
There's
23rd.
not a lot of
but-
position available. to
Right,
add.
to put.
Sure. And then, Judge, on item 12, I did not understand the way that motion reads.
So that one, this was the incident back at the end of last year where one of Sheriff's Office vehicles struck someone who parked on the street. And TAC has been working on the insurance side with them to pay them directly. And so this is TAC asking us to pay TAC for our deductible on the incident.
And, okay, so we won't make the third party,
The third party's already been made whole by TAC. This is us paying our portion, our deductible to
gotcha,
TAC.
okay, gotcha. That makes
Because
perfect
they
sense.
went ahead and paid the full
Okay.
amount.
And then, just clarification, and thanks to Dwayne, great, job as the towers are improving. I have to give an A+ rating to both Tusa and Hayden Towers, for their communication and everything. It's just been, their, work on the ground has really been great, and Dwayne's had to go out there and set up power because we're gonna have a delayed switch over time, but this credit of 65,000, Judge, is a Hayden credit in that basically $630,000 Hayden bill, okay? So it reduces that credit of 65, and then just for clarification, there is an $18,000 credit from Hayden for all the work we've done. And I have not had time to vet that yet, but that is
They've
what
already-
they're wanting to do. So what we paid for in ARPA funds towards the towers, their contract,
Right, they've reduced their contract 18,000 at the Bradley location, 64,000 at the other location. This is an additional credit of 65 because of the reduction of the
Now-
tower height.
now,
And they put that on their bill.
okay, but I'm only seeing the 18,000 when I visited with Hayden Tower on,
Because they're billing it separately, so the 64 is on one bill and the other one, the 18
so
is
we're
on.
getting 64 plus 18.
Right,
Okay.
yes.
Well, that's
And then
even
we'll get
better.
then we'll get an additional 65, because they're billing each location separately.
And I think they're taking it off the total of the contract
They
and
are.
then dividing by the payment, so it's not like we paid them $100,000, we
Sure.
gave them a $65,000 credit.
Okay.
They overall did it on the total cost.
Yes,
Great.
And I double checked with Margaret yesterday. They had actually preemptively already
yes, they have.
taken those out. So the payments we made in February were already the reduced amount showing the new credit.
Right.
So instead of the 134,000, that was what we had been paying. The credit has been applied and we're paying based on the new.
Right,
total
so they
number.
took the overall remainder less the 65 or whatever and then divided it out, so.
Okay, and this was Kim that I spoke to, and she kind of walked me through that scenario, but that 18 had clicked with me, and
Mhm.
that I didn't clarify anything past that.
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
they're all on there.
And, that's everything. Thank y'all.
Well, that's good.
All right, motion to approve the agenda as amended with moving item number 1 off the agenda and noted changes on the other items.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon, to approve the consent agenda as amended. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or any of the items on the consent agenda? All right, the motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. All right, general business item number 1, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve and ratify the minutes of the March 12th, 2024 regular session. Does anyone have any changes to make to those, or are we good?
No date mistakes or?
No? I think we're good.
Motion to put.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve and ratify the minutes of March 12th, 2024 regular session. Anyone have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, the motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, review and approve the regular bills for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and order county treasurer to disperse payroll and/or bills within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered in the treasurer's office.
So,
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to approve, verify, and order. Anyone have any questions, comments on the motion or the item? All right, the motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Now our favorite item of the year.
Item number 3, discuss,
Paperwork.
consider, and/or take action to award bids for janitor/paper supplies. Commissioners, all of you should have essentially a spreadsheet with all of the bid lists, A through D, and highlighted in green, thanks to the work of Tana, highlighted in green the lowest bid. if y'all wanna take a minute to look through those. Tana, did you wanna make any comment while we're looking at those, any things that we should be aware of in the document?
Just the out-of-town vendors, my conversations with them, as you can see, noted at the bottom of the bid list A, that first page, due to the amount that they're wanting us to order from them and the distance traveled, and the lead time that they are actually advising on, I mean, anywhere from 10 to 14 days lead time, and they would be shipping out of state, across country, and they're asking for large orders. Pyramid School is the only one that said that they're not gonna require a large order, but they are shipping from Florida. So if we are ordering small amounts, then the lead time and the chance of the freight getting damaged on an LTL freight carrier, that increases chances of a big mess when we get it here in Wichita Falls.
Well, and it appeared to me from looking it over, they weren't the low bid number.
Correct, they
on
weren't. So
any of that
it's
anyway.
just, that's the only one that was out of state that didn't actually say we had to buy 18 skids of product.
My office has had a lot of difficulty with Pyramid in the past when we have had them as a.
Tana, did you prepare this? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
This is a great
Thank you.
format.
I'd
This is really good.
make the motion to approve staff recommendations noted in green. Very good.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.
We may need to adopt this format for a lot of the bidding.
This makes our job a lot easier.
It's so much
That was the
easier to
idea.
follow.
Tana did a lot of work with Ricky and the jail and other stuff before we even sent this RFP out, and then she did a tremendous amount putting this together and talking to everybody, so I'd give her lots of kudos on this.
Good deal. Tana, thank you very much.
Very good. This is really good.
Thank you.
Judge, you don't want to read these in individually?
I do not. I was just, the only thing I was making sure was that there was a green
Yeah,
on every single one of them.
I
so
was
that
sure
we were
looking
covered.
forward to that, and
Sorry to disappoint you, Commissioner.
There's not.
Okay, there isn't on the line 13,
Yeah, there's not here.
on the powdered laundry detergent on the first sheet.
Okay,
Wagner Supply actually put their bid in at a 40-pound level versus the Empire Paper and Mayfield being at the 100-pound quantity.
typically when they don't comply with the requests in the RFP, we don't.
Well, that's what I
consider them.
didn't actually know how y'all wanted to go with that.
I think that then we would choose the lowest amount on the 100-pound, which is Empire.
Okay.
I amend my,
Approve staff recommendations for bids in green and Empire Paper for powdered laundry.
there you go. That's what I meant to say.
So Tana, I believe this is the first RFP completely front to back with the new procedures, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any unexpected stumbling blocks, or did it go pretty smoothly?
It went pretty smoothly. Now, I did have help with Nancy and then, of course, the auditor's office as well, direction. So I didn't just do this
Sure.
all by myself.
Teamwork.
So I didn't want to take all the credit.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody involved with this. All right, so we've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Mahler, to approve staff recommendations for all of the bids that are highlighted in green and to approve Empire Paper for powdered laundry detergent.
And Judge, just before we take that vote, the paper products referenced here, is that like copy paper? So can we transition to Tana what we're still doing in our office?
Well, this is just bulk paper, this is not stationary, if that
But
makes sense. But
yes,
yeah, we
you
can, we can certainly, transition that, over to her if we chose to do so. That will require a separate court order because we have one in place right now designating everyone to go through our office. But we can certainly entertain that in a future agenda.
Well, sure, if y'all don't mind, it would certainly.
No,
Put
it
it on the
seems to have
agenda for
made
next
things very
board.
easy.
Yeah. That was what we had to work with before.
Would that include
Nancy, will you make a note of that to put that
Printed-
on the next
printed
Tuesday
goods
agenda?
also good?
Yeah.
All that.
See, you do something really well and make you do more.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
I know, right?
It's called job security.
That's-
Did you hear Steve?
Okay, so we've had the motion, it's been seconded. Do we have any other questions or comments on the motion or the item? Okay, all right, the motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Item number 4, receive report of money dispersed, debts due and owed by the county, and all other proceedings in the treasurer's office for the month ending February 29, 2024, from Stephen Jones, Wichita County Treasurer, as required by Texas Local Government Code, Section 114.026. Mr. Jones.
What's our theme this month?
I actually didn't have time.
Well,
I was
Our
planning
theme
on-
is working hard.
Well, February is a short month, so I didn't have as much time.
Thank you.
I was kind of looking forward to seeing
you.
what.
He's just gotta keep you on your toes and see what.
Do you take requests?
Sure. Not seriously, but I do.
Such a comedian.
That sounds like an old school teacher retort.
It does,
Yeah,
it
doesn't
does. Well, sometimes we fit the bill for rowdy students.
We
so-
do for a fact.
Yeah, you were tardy today, Judge.
Yes,
If you get an REC.
handling other stuff.
You really don't do that anymore. Not I know of. Yeah. You did my paper. Okay, so really not a whole lot of exciting stuff happened this month.
Just numbers going up.
Just numbers going up, yeah. The amount of money we have on hand has gone up some, which is good, because pretty soon it's gonna start going back down. Let's see. We had a lot of, money move into tax pool for Mad Val. I think it's around 12, between 8 and 12 million we added to the fund balance this month. In February, it's slowing down a lot. It's gonna be a lot slower from now on, but you can see where we went up in our money market accounts. And again, this is without LPPF, so it's showing a lot more accurate as to what our actual money is.
And another 300,000 in interest earned in the month when you put the two together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're cashing in on those interest rates right now. It's pretty
So we
nice.
should.
And so yeah, the general fund, we added 8.6 million in the tax pool. All of that fund moved up. We actually, on the 13th, we paid off, or the first 2024 payment for the LEC bond has been paid in March. So we've already done that. And so we're gonna see that go down a little bit. Yeah, tax pool went up almost 10 million. Our total cash balance is starting to look more and more like that sine curve I was hoping for.
Mhm.
So that's nice. We went up almost as high as we were last year at this time. General fund major expenses, there's nothing really exciting there. It's basically the same stuff we do every month. And then the ones you guys put through. And we're getting to start projects, so you guys are gonna start spending more money. Long-term debt, we've got, like I said, we already made that first payment in March, and then the other one's already paid off, TCCU. So one more payment, we've got plenty in our investment accounts to cover it. It's gonna be there and have us ready to go for January payment too, so. So that's all I have, unless you have some specific questions throughout. Sorry to disappoint, I know, what is exciting?
Numbers are good.
Yep.
Any questions for Mr. Jones?
Can we do a Star Trek thing next month?
Sure.
I suspect we're looking,
That's it.
the rumors are flying of lowered interest rates.
It is starting to go down, really slowly right now, but in the coming year, we're gonna see it go down a full point.
That's what they're telling us. So
Mhm.
we're already maximizing investments, we're reaching out to some of our CDs and get those
Yeah.
locked in at a higher rate now.
We've got a couple,
We've moved into a much better position over, what, the last year, last 6
Yes,
months,
we've
getting so much
really
stuff out of those
reconfigured
global warming
investments.
deals, which is good.
We really just have the one that's just hanging out there for,
we've got a bunch, but
but the one that's like 4.5 million is the one that's.
yeah, that's gonna be there till midway through 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't do anything about that, it costs too much to take the penalty.
Mhm.
Other than that,
But if anybody ever wants to see the whole picture of it, I've got lots of charts in my office for the investments, so I can show you that.
First National Bank's been really good to us with their interest rates.
They have been, and Murph has put us on to some other stuff too, so.
Yeah, so,
We'll be spending some, in April, we've got 3.7 coming mature of our older ones at a lower interest rate. We're gonna turn that right back into more at around 5, 4.5, 5, so. Getting a little bit more as much as we can.
Yeah, good deal. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, item number 5, discuss, consider, and/or take action on construction renovation plans for the north end of the courthouse. I'll see if I can set this up, and feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. Essentially, based on conversations we had a couple of weeks ago about the same topic, we've got 4 options for what we do with the old rec area north end of the courthouse. We've got an option, which is option A in your documents, which is where the western half is covered with a roof, slopes to the north, and then the eastern half is not covered. That water would drain towards the building and then gutter out, but that half would remain uncovered. Is that right on option A?
Pretty much, except there's, I don't know what option A y'all are looking at. Is that RC?
It's, yeah, PR 81C.
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna cover the western half. It's gonna cover also that little storage room and office on the far east, that'll drain to the east. The rest of that'll be open. Whatever rain falls in will have to go through the floor drains and get out that way.
Okay.
But that builds the wall.
And that builds a wall with a pair of doors in it coming into it. So that would seal that area off.
And Kevin, what, I didn't understand, what covered the little office to begin with? What was the roof, where is the old roof on that covered and protected the little office out in the
It's
rec?
still there.
It's still there.
It's just not attractive.
But attractive as far as if you're standing in that space?
If you're standing above from like the county clerk's office looking down, it's
But the roof is structurally intact and good on that one right now?
yeah, the roof is fine.
Okay.
It's just not attractive.
Okay. And it's, that roof currently is sloped to the east, to the north, not
It's
sloped?
flat. Yeah,
It's flat.
roof.
Okay.
That's
Well,
The unattractive
we've actually
roof.
cut into it on the south side up against the building to install a valley gutter that was gonna go in there on the brass rendition of this that'll need to stay in there just to keep that sealed off.
Okay.
Take the rest of that valley gutter out, but that portion at that office will probably need to stay.
Okay. So that's the first option, and the cost on that one is $31,547, I believe.
No, it's $5,008.
$5,008 for that one.
Because there's already money in the budget, right?
Yeah, we've already ordered materials to do what we had changed it to on PR 75, and so that those materials will be reused to do the option C, which is $5,008.
Okay. All right, so that's one option. Second option is, actually, Kevin, if you don't mind just explaining the
Sure.
$31,547.
31,000, the west half would be a single slope, draining to the north, with a retrofit system draining to the north. The east half would turn into a double pitch roof, that half of it would drain into the valley gutter that's installed along the existing building, the other half would drain out the east. Is it open? We've done this many times. That's this one. That's what I just said is right.
Okay.
We would put a roof over the whole thing. It's just part of it, half of it's gonna be a double pitch, so you have water draining back toward the building into the valley gutter. The other half would be draining off the end, and then there would not be we still have a wall in there.
A wall separating the western half and the eastern half, so that whole rec area space becomes two spaces?
Comes two spaces.
Okay. With the western half draining to the north, the eastern draining towards the gutter on the south side, and then out. Okay.
How's your transition from your double slope to your single slope?
Massively.
Hmm?
It's not, yeah, it's a very difficult transition.
Right.
It's one of those where, if at some point in the future, it will be a problem.
Yeah.
And that one is $31,547.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be scared to, I'd be a little scared to build that one. Just, it's gonna cause some trouble.
We've done it a lot. It just takes some, you gotta really be careful with your flashings, and at some point in time, with movement, it'll become an issue. You got three planes coming together at one point.
Right.
That's where the problem comes in.
Okay. Third option is to do demo and remove essentially all of that existing structure and replace it with a metal building. I'm gonna say fully finished out. It's not. It doesn't have mechanical, it doesn't have plumbing, doesn't have electrical, but it is a metal structure that's.
It would be lower. We'd be taking 2'8" off the masonry wall.
It's not a demo.
To get under the windows on the second floor, that would be as low as, we'd have to take off part of that wall to be able to get that.
The north wall.
The north wall.
So that you can slope it.
Yeah.
Right.
What were you saying?
The way you just said it,
It's wrong.
you said demo the building. No, all the
Yeah.
all the exterior walls will stay. It's just
Yeah.
taking 4 courses of block wall off.
Well,
the
it's
top.
taking all the structural steel out of it.
Yeah,
too.
taking the framework out of the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would that leave the height after you cut it down? Approximately.
I believe it was 12'6".
It's 12 now, or it would be 12?
It
I
would
think
be
it would be 12 then.
That's still functional. Height.
That's to the roof line, then you've got the frame, so realistically, you probably got a 10-foot working height where you go under the frames themselves.
But still very functional.
The one thing about that option I've got all the costs for the construction, but on that option, an additional expense. We're gonna have to have additional drawings to be able to get a permit. The other options are modifications of what we've already got a permit for. This would require us to have to get some more drawings from Harbor Perkins for the city to issue a permit. And I don't have that included in that price.
What is the number?
It's 139, 160 is what the number is here.
Plus.
Linda, any ballpark on what that would cost?
Not, it would be an hourly, it would be an hourly service, and it wouldn't take that much time.
Well-
The question would be is if we have to bring in engineered structural, if you want anything, if we're gonna put any air in there at all, or if we're gonna put electrical lighting and stuff like that. Those are more of a expense than what we will be. We're a couple of hours on our hourly rate.
So help me understand on the third, fourth, and fifth floor, looking out those windows. Where am I at when I look out those windows?
County clerk's
Third,
office.
fourth, and fifth. County clerk's too, right? But, so I have to be in Annette's office or over there?
Or in the court administrator's office.
Or
It's
the
only
what?
Court administration office. That's the only offices that look down into that.
And so what would I'd never seen in the last 6, 7 years, I'd never went to those offices and ever looked down into the rec yard. Never have.
Well,
But what would be wrong with doing absolutely nothing in there, paint the wall really nice, and let it stand until we take that structure out? I don't think we're happy with the metal building up against the marble courthouse. I don't think that's where we should head. But there is gonna be a need for construction in the future, and that's prime place to slot something. But I don't think that we need to do that immediately. I just don't. And if we wanted to take off all of the roof up there or anything we closed in, I'm fine with that. But put a little short roof over the office if that's ugly where it's at. But that office needs to come out and be done away with. So does the wall need to go away.
Well,
And just a new construction be in that location. It is a very difficult transition if you can't get a pickup in that door without spending a bunch of time getting situated. You can get a four-wheeler in and out all day long.
Well-
But I think that we just need to let it rest. And
let me go through our needs, and I'll tell you how we can solve it. Our biggest need right now is we've got 2 mule-type vehicles that we are purchasing for building maintenance out of this year's budget, for maintaining all of our properties downtown. We need a place to park them out of the weather. We can do that for essentially no additional monies to this. For lack of a better term, I'm gonna call it 81D, because we don't really have an 81, we don't have this option. So it would essentially be the 81C option without the wall. So you just be essentially building a carport inside the rec yard on the west third, call it. For a
the
place.
west third?
The west third, to park those 2 mules and other garden top tools, et cetera, out in a covered space. We're actually using or repurposing that office space in that rec yard for our grounds maintenance people. So
The
we have a place to set
entrance
up.
from the north.
Yeah, the door hasn't been cut in yet, so that's an upcoming, that's part of the, already part of the project's cut an additional door into that office space.
You said repurposing the covered portion or the whole portion?
The office space that's out
The
there.
office
Yeah,
space.
that, we are going to use that. That's something that Rick has already determined that we're gonna set that up for an office space for groundskeeping. So that would essentially be I don't think there's any additional monies involved if we do that option, am I correct? Because we've already purchased the materials to do the roof, the additional monies and
Yeah, I mean, the
and
biggest
81C
expense in that
was-
was the door. I
was
mean,
the
there-
door.
The material and labor we already had, so there would be, if we don't put the wall in, then there's not gonna be any, it would be a no change type deal.
and that would solve our immediate need. It's not, then we can go back later date if we ever decide to do something with that. It's not, we're losing a great deal to put that carport in, essentially. We'll call it a carport.
Repainting the north exterior wall is
Already
part
part.
of the project now, correct?
Yes,
So at the end of everything, that's already in the plans.
yes.
I want to address one thing Jeff said. By doing that, it's not putting a metal building on the north side. All the facade will stay the same, be painted just the same as what it's gonna be now. The only difference would be putting a structure over that, encapsulating that room and making it use for whatever, for as long a period of time in the future as you want it to go. The facade would be exactly the same as it is now, upgraded to the paint that they're gonna upgrade.
You'd see a little bit of a roof line.
You would see, yeah, you see the roof line and the gutter line.
And I wouldn't take the valley gutter out. Does it help funnel the water off the scuppers?
But it would be but it would just be a single
It's
step.
already up, so.
Yeah, it's already up.
If you wanna leave it, I'd let that.
I'd leave it. I would leave it because it would help take the overflow water out from that area, so.
Yeah.
But it just makes that a possible usable, it'll make it usable space, whether, for any department in the county. But it doesn't make it look like a metal building next to the courthouse. So I just wanna, that's not the case.
But getting to it, it's all the poor design. The whole thing, the rec yard was designed, if you were incarcerated in this county, in this courthouse,
Yeah.
it was good to go out there in that yard. That's what it's designed to do. And to use it and to have to modify that, I mean,
Yeah.
we got a garage door on the east side, and that's how you get into that building from the east side. We come into security on the east side of this building, but you won't go into that building from the east side unless you tear out that
It's-
office and put in a door.
It's
And-
very difficult to get into the courthouse from that area.
And I'm telling you,
Yeah,
can,
you
but-
can. It'd be,
in 1960, that might have been an ideal thing, but in 2024, that's not an ideal scenario for this courthouse to have that over there. And I think that we need something that is an addition to this thing at the appropriate time when it's definitely needed. I'm not opposed to what Mark's saying, cover our utility vehicles or something simplistic to get them out of the weather for the time, but at some point, when the Sally Port's clear, that's gonna be a space as well. And so, we've
But
got
not the
that.
139.
no, we're,
That's right.
I'm saying to do this minimally.
Yeah.
We've already got the money allotted to it. Let's do this the minimal approach. It gets us our immediate need taken care of. And
And that's
Is
just,
there
go ahead.
an effective way to open that area back into the main courthouse?
no,
That's not even an option.
no,
That's
we
what I thought.
we had an option originally through all these iterations. We did open up into where the security is now. We opened up into the security office, but it was a step up and
Not a
it
good-
wasn't
it was hard, yeah.
ADA. It wasn't. They're on two different levels.
Well, that limits what you're
Yeah.
gonna be able to do with it
So-
right there.
And that's, you would have to enter into one of those areas, either elections or treasurer's
Yes,
office.
to just go through the wall,
Treasurer's
but
office, we
what
could.
you could do is that exit, those double doors that exit on that end of the building, when you add to the existing north side of the courthouse, you can have a foyer that comes out and captures
It's,
them doors and then work into that building.
But that's a problem for the future.
Yeah.
We've got so much space in this building right now that's empty, that's 100 years from now that we'd be talking about.
Well, common sense would tell you, the build out of the building, the $139,000. Common sense would tell you that you're never gonna build that any cheaper than if you
No,
do it
you're
right now.
not.
But-
I agree
but-
with that wholeheartedly.
But
If
the
it-
inverse of that is, you're
Do we-
not building it for any specific function,
No.
so at the time, by the time you go in and retrofit it, that's probably not gonna be a bargain.
No.
So, I
No,
mean,
I-
I just don't see any need in building something
We've,
when we don't know what direction that thing's going.
we've changed
We
to
know
try to
what the
meet
immediate
everybody's
need is.
wants and needs, and now this,
They're
I've
gonna-
identified the actual need.
Yeah.
This is not once, this is what our needs are. We need a place to park those mules.
And it would,
So-
and it would clean that up, which is something I think we're all interested in getting.
And it's a good, secure place.
Yeah.
Couldn't find better secure place to do that.
And on the needs side, we don't have a current issue with the drainage and the floor drains that's not there right now,
No,
correct?
it's essentially gonna be an outdoor space, it's gonna be a covered parking space.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that with
No, there's,
slope changes even on that small portion,
no, it's
Floor
gonna,
drains
it's
can
gonna
handle it.
actually take more water out of there than what we have currently
Okay.
going in there. And plus, if we keep the drain up against the wall, anything that comes out of the scuppers above will hit that drain and move out, and not even come to that floor. So that's why I say we leave them.
And
Cause the
that-
overflow scuppers are right above.
That total cost that you're talking about adds to where we're already budgeted at? How much?
Zero.
Zero.
Okay.
so it's $5,008 op.
No, it's
This
zero
is
dollars.
what you're
Zero
talking
dollars.
about.
Okay.
Take the wall out, then we're at zero change.
Okay.
We're at $0.
Okay.
So I would go with 81D, $0 option
The zero.
would be my recommendation moving forward. And I think that meets our needs and that gets us off of High Center.
That'll leave all the cage on top of that area.
It will leave the cage on
And
top
y'all
of the
take the
area,
sheet metal back off that area?
Yes, sir.
except
guess.
for over the office or.
You'll
do
take it
something.
off and then put it back on, cause we'll put a slope build up on that office and slope it back to the east.
So right now it's flat on top of that, you'll take that off and slope it
Yes, sir.
on that portion, okay. And then the other portion that's, is there
Then
a
it'll be
portion that's
open-
flat?
Then it'll be open where it's flat now, and then once we get past the windows on the second floor, then we'll put a slope build up, and it'll slope from the courthouse building out towards Sixth Street.
Okay.
$0 sounds really good.
Really good.
So question, excuse me, a question on that. So if we're doing that partial roof, is it gonna be guttered or is it just gonna run off onto the concrete?
Not big gutter.
Guttered towards the north side?
Yeah, there's already gutter up there.
Right, but you're not covering the north part, are you?
It'll be to the wall.
We'll go all the way out
Along
to the
the
north
north wall.
They'll
wall.
go all the way to the north wall,
And so, but you're not going all the way back to the building, is that
all the way
correct?
to the building. Yeah,
All the way
you
to
have
the
the whole west third covered with a roof.
That's the windows.
Yeah, anything from the windows back will be covered. So
Windows
you'll have
west.
a
From the
pretty
windows
good,
west.
Okay.
fairly large size covered area, well more than enough for 2 mules and whatever else you want to stack up under there, keep out of the weather.
Okay.
But it won't be an indoor storage, it'll just be a carport.
Right, we can't store anything in there because of the pigeons and everything else.
It'll be a carport.
Okay.
But lawn tools and fertilizer bags or whatever, stuff like that, certainly can store out there.
Okay. So then, let's see.
Not even an option listed.
What are you
but
calling that option?
I'm gonna call it 81D. It's not even an option. It's the
Well,
no
and-
cost.
Since we don't have any actual options listed in there, I mean, the motion can be whatever
Yeah.
the plan is. I just
So
want to try and be able to think about in terms of.
Motion to take 81C and remove the wall.
Call that the Beecham Amendment.
Is there still gonna be double doors going in that hall?
Double doors going into the
On which side?
On the west side of it.
No, the step-up doors, I think,
Those out.
we've taken those out.
No, those came out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some buildability
Because the
problems in
elevation.
there, yeah.
Well, I can't really, I'm not griping about zero, but
All right, so Commissioner Beecham, is that your
That is
motion?
my motion to go 81C option without the wall. Unless we can get Archer County to build it for us.
Kevin, can you tell me what the slope would be above, what's the height difference in the,
It's like 20 inches. It's gonna be right at 1 and 12.
and that'll be that, a gray colored metal?
It's an off-white.
So you'll be able to see that sheet metal roof from the north side of the building?
You're gonna have to be pretty
Yeah.
far away, Commissioner, because the elevation you are above the road. I mean, you're gonna have to be probably on 5th Street before you're gonna be able to see the metal on the roof.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, at the hotel.
The whole thing's gonna look immensely better once it's all painted anyway, so that light gray roof panels are just gonna be. Before we had all that big ductwork and everything else out there that everyone forgets was there, and the catwalk, and it's still gonna look a million times better.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham to do 81C option, remove the wall, which would be at a cost of $0.
I would second that motion.
And a second by Commissioner Mahler on that. We have any other questions or comments or motions? Actually, let's deal with this motion before us first. Do we have any other questions, comments on this item or the motion? Kevin, is that clear enough to you to, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay. That motion passes, there being 4 ayes and 1 nay. Okay, item number 6, discuss, consider, and/or take action on renaming position 561.147 from Mail Officer Jailer 5 to Building Engineer 1 with the same pay plus the $5,000 ARPA stipend. Chief Rutledge, do you want to speak to this one?
Yes, well, with the mails, we no longer take mail basically into the jail unless it's legal mail. So we did away with that mail position, and legal mail is being handled by supervisors. So with that position, we'd like to change it to, I don't have my notes on hand. To a building engineer position. In 2022, between preventive maintenance and work orders, the 2 guys we had worked 2,724 orders. And in 2023, they did 3,402 work orders or building maintenance orders in the jail. So we're asking for a 3rd position, using that position, just changing it to another engineer 1 position.
Cheryl, is this gonna, the ARPA stipend change? It's for 1 position. Net effect of that, it's gonna be just the 5,000, another 5,000 from ARPA.
5,000 plus pay
Plus,
the
okay.
grant, which is not gonna be much.
And that Jailer 5 position, you're not worried, Chief, about in the long run?
It was not, that was not in that Jailer 5. It was it said mail clerk / Jailer 5 where we knew what the payer had, pay that position to be at.
So we're not taking mail into the,
No, the mail, all the mail goes to Maryland and gets scanned, and they read the mail on the tablets.
oh,
The only mail we have, that prevents any papers that may be,
so, okay,
Not
I
paper.
understand, I understand.
so.
Any other questions or comments on that for Chief? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to rename position 561.147 from male officer jailer 5 to building engineer 1 with the same pay plus the $5,000 stipend. Motion was made by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Watts. Do we have any other questions or comments on the motion or the item itself? All right, motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Might as well stay right there.
Hang it.
Item number 7, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve Cornerstone Incorporated quote in the amount of $142,207 to furnish and install Bosch VMS system upgrade to the jail camera system. This will include a new server, software licensing, installation, and training to be paid from Department 561 budget lines as determined by the county auditor. Chief?
This is the Cornerstone we've been talking about for months. This brings us up to their current operating system and keeps us at the current as they move forward.
As long as it's for the life of the server.
The life of the server. And that's where Brandon comes in. They should be a 10-year life roughly on the server.
So this does include a maintenance type agreement?
Yeah, agreement for the next 10 years.
Okay.
Roughly.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, but
We're
I don't
married
know
to
why
it.
we didn't have a maintenance agreement in place before, and maybe we wouldn't be dealing with just
It
a
was
amount of
never-
cash
yeah.
at this point.
On the maintenance
Didn't know.
agreement's free.
It's a really expensive server.
Yes, it's a
Well,
really expensive server.
Yeah.
We would have been paying this out long-term already, but, so to speak. Wow.
And just Brendan or Chief, whoever, when looking through the proposal, you got 129 field device firmware updates, 80 field device firmware updates, VSG cameras. I'm guessing those are just different types of cameras that they've got in the field. That's why the numbers are
That's
broken
what
down
I'm
like
pretty
that.
sure it is, yes.
Okay.
We have several types of cameras in there.
I have one other question.
Is there enough money in their contingencies and et cetera to cover that big of an expense?
561. When
You
was the
never
last year?
know.
561.
Yeah.
561 didn't bust in 2023, but it's one of those, I think we'll just have to evaluate that as we get later into the year.
I'm gonna have to let you take it out of Brennan's.
Because we have no idea what's gonna happen with 561
Yeah.
at any given time, whether our prisoners go up or not.
Yeah. We have enough to cover 561 from 409 if it does
Right.
go over, which I think is yeah. 561 is our unique department.
409's a good cleanser.
There's no type of warranty for coverage of server problems or anything like that included in this, is there?
The server itself does come with a warranty. I think it's 4 years
Okay.
for coverage on anything that's wrong with the warranty, anything wrong with the server over that amount of time. Typically and they've in the past used HP servers, I imagine they will going forward, issues are rare.
Okay.
It should last.
Okay.
I'm surprised we're already changing that server.
It's because of the type of agreement. This one comes with one.
With
If
this
we're gonna
one.
get one that's for
Okay.
the life of the server, reusing the existing hardware wouldn't be wise. It'd be worth it to spend a little bit extra to get the new server. That way you have one at a brand new state going forward 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's sort of why I made the joke that the maintenance agreement's free, you're just paying for a new server instead of paying for a
Okay.
maintenance agreement
Mhm.
on the old server.
So the server that we already have, is it repurposable for anything?
probably, I'm not sure for what, but yes. I mean, as far as
It's a
Cornerstone
large,
goes, I'm not
it's a
sure if
large
going to.
server, so.
Not necessarily, it's the way that it's broken up, you've got storage servers and you've got application servers. This is the
Oh.
application server that would be replaced.
Oh.
So it's not the
Not the
storage
whole-
one. it's a little bit different the way they're broken up.
Gotcha. Okay. Had to ask.
Any other questions for Chief or for Brendan on this one?
I make a motion, we move forward.
Second. Needed.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to approve this Cornerstone quote in the amount of $142,207. Any other questions or comments on the motion or the item?
Don't break anything.
All right, the motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
That motion unenthusiastically passed 5-0. All right, item number 8, receive update on courthouse renovation, elevator projects, and county courthouse annexes. Commissioner Beecham?
Start with the 30th. We had a very good projects meeting Thursday, discussing finishes, etc. So didn't choose anything yet, but got a direction on which way to go. Looked at some samples, etc. So I'm thrilled at where that process is on 30th District Court. I haven't picked in and looked recently. The framing's all done. They're building a judge's bench area right now. You can really see what it's overall gonna look like at this point. When you walk in, you can get a visualization of what it'll look like. It's moving really quick. They've got the windows pulled out right now, which we learned when we were walking through the canopy going out to take our picture this morning. They dropped some debris on top of the canopy, and I asked them to be careful, but they're chipping out the old mortar and everything that held the windows in place to replace those. So, but that's coming along very quickly. Tax office framing's pretty much done. Still doing HVAC work in all areas of the first floor of the annex. The tile's all done on the first floor restrooms. They've set plumbing fixtures. So hopefully we can get those restrooms up and operational pretty quick. I think we still are waiting the dividers, toilet partitions and everything. So that's still a few weeks out. But that project's coming along really well. The rest of the courthouse, doing some painting right now on the 3rd floor and some touch-up paints everywhere else. I think we're getting, once we finish this that we voted on this morning, getting pretty close to where we can do the punch list finally. After a year of being inside the building or inside and using the areas, we're finally gonna get to punch them. But a lot of progress over the last couple of weeks. Lots.
Okay. Good deal. Any other questions or comments on courthouse renovation?
Couple of things real quick. Right now, TK Elevators here, they're replacing those doors on the smaller elevator here at the courthouse. So the one that had the door that looks like a NASCAR off-roaded door, those are going away. Those are gonna be stainless steel looking doors. They're doing that now. This weekend, I sent out an email to everyone over at the annex. We'll have the water down. Be replacing the plumbing that's underneath where the tax office is being built. The plumbing's all in rough shape, actually split in some areas. So this is the time, so we're getting that out and getting PVC put back in. Starting on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, we're gonna be starting to change air conditioners up on the 4th floor, air handlers. So we'll be doing a week where we'll be changing, which y'all voted on and we approved a while back, but we'll be changing 3 of those to 1 unit and then replacing another unit 1 for 1. So that'll be about a 2-week, I hope, a 2-week process.
And building a water resistant floor.
And also sealing the floors, making the floors where they're more of a catch pan if you do have water leaks. So we got quite a bit happening here. in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I want to applaud Ricky for trying to do absolutely everything he could to arrange for people's schedules and get their input when deciding on when to get the air handler replacement going. You got a lot of people you got to juggle, and thank you.
Yeah, Rick's staff does an outstanding job.
Well, the annex sure looks good at night, lit up, and the sign on it, it really looks like an official building, and,
If we ever get the flagpoles up, it'll really look official.
I'll be proud of that.
And that's moving, Tom. You're moving.
They've done I'm glad Kevin's here this morning, they've done,
They
what's
have.
been done since January the 8th over there, it's moving great.
Yeah,
And that was money
Quickly,
well
quickly.
spent to do what Ricky's talking about, because all that plumbing was already like that Hallmark gift card, it was a gift that was always given.
yeah.
There were bad things coming.
I don't know if there's a ceiling tile in either building that has cast iron plumbing above it.
Yeah.
It's not stained, so there's a lot still to go.
And with some household pans underneath them and everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminds me of the old
Catch
Gibson's
pan.
downtown with the catch buckets everywhere.
That was one of those deals where Tommy unlocked the door one morning and a little bit of a waterfall.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, we're getting it removed. 100-year-old cast iron pipe, it's time.
Never been.
So what you're saying is be careful if you're moving ceiling tiles over there.
Well, it's a 5-inch pipe, which isn't even made anymore.
Yeah. A lot of it.
Good deal. Any other questions, comments on this item? All right. It is 11:14 and the court